ready to invite our third guest of the day. I have a really big delight in my heart to introduce you to Wild Ally, Claire Milne. Yes, she is one of the Starter Culture's co-founders and is an experienced and gifted guide, soul guide. And she brings a deep commitment to exploring the inner and also the relational landscapes, and supports others truly in reconnecting with the wisdom and strength that emerges when we remember how to surrender also to a power that is greater than ours. I am so fortunate to have her as my colleague in the Animas Vel Institute Soul Initiation Apprenticeship Program. Yeah, so lucky. I'm so lucky to have her. To me, she holds a deep love, like the particular kind of love that she holds for all those who are marginalized. And if you have been participating in the previous session with Bill Plotkin, we were talking about the privilege, and this one is particularly dedicating her life to that, to that which is marginalized. She's an wild ally to those, and she's alchemizing that which lives in the margins of society and polarities of the life circle and cycle. So yeah, I'm so curious and wholeheartedly delighted to have you here, Wild Ally, Claire. Welcome.
Thank you, my dear. What a pleasure to be here, and what a thing you've created. I just feel incredibly touched and celebratory of you in this, and everyone here who's showed up and in this curious little kind of multiverse of images on screen. Yeah, just a lot of gratitude. I mean, I know in the last conversation you've all been part of with Bill just now, you know, you touched just at the end on this piece around you know, the kind of how do we bring together the sacred and the kind of middle world and the tension around that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, all of you have chosen up to show up here right now and give your time to this, and this is part of it. And how we choose to spend our time and who we choose to spend our time with, human and otherwise, you know, makes all the difference. So yeah, I really want to bow down to everyone who's shown up here to give your time, our time. Yeah, it's an honor to be here and be part of this, for sure. Yeah. So I will dive in, and as you will maybe have seen, the kind of the gathering call that was ushered by this one was around vessel, and weaving ancestral webs of grief, love, and belonging. And so what I'd really love us to do to begin with is actually to kind of land this entity, a vessel, seeing as it is the one that's called us all in somehow mysteriously, in the different languages that we have here amongst us, because I'm imagining there are a number of different languages. So just to begin with, I'd love us to use the chat that if your language is one other than English, if your mother tongue is one other than English, be so grateful if you would share with us what the word for vessel is in your language. Say what the language is and then what the word is for vessel. And this might help people, because I'm imagining there might even be some of you here that don't quite know what the word vessel necessarily even means. So you'll be helping all of us out. Let's have a look. We've got Anum. I hope my pronunciation might not be so great, but Anum in Estonian, and Beslo in Slovenian. And oh, the Polish is going to challenge me, I imagine. Naszneszny. Naszneszny? Wonder how I've done. If anyone Polish wants to jump in and pronounce that correctly, or any of the languages, please do. Recipiente. Recipiente? Español. should know Russian. I'm probably getting this embarrassingly wrong, so please do jump in and correct me. Anyone for whose mother tongue this is. Trauks, Latvian. You're probably all being really kind to me and not correcting me. I got one of them correct at least. Claire, Hebrew. Plavlidlo, Czech. Nadova, Slovak. Vas, in Romanian, sort of. Quite hard to translate. Should, Bulgarian. Wow, look at this. Look at who's here. Isn't this rich? Just to kind of be able to feel into how many ways of saying vessel there are amongst us. That's here we go. Polish. I thought that might be the one I struggle with. Nachechne. Nachechine. Bless me. Thank you all. I was close enough. Gefäß in German. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And if there are more to come, then do bring them in. Yeah, really, really great to feed nave in Italian. Really great to feed our web in this way, to feed the vessel of us. It's like I can feel the vessel of us here together now being kind of woven in with these many different words that express this phenomena that we call vessel. Edni, Hungarian. So now that we've kind of started to kind of weave this web vessel of us with these many different beautiful words for vessel, I would also love to invite us to use the chat to kind of share kind of what are examples of vessel that we're aware of, kind of, and it might be in the human world, it might be in the other than human world, it might be in the more than human or the mythic world. Like what are examples of vessels that kind of spring to mind, to heart mind? Maybe you can pop them into the chat. Yeah, the soma, the body, the prominent vessel that we are thrumming as in every moment. Yeah, circle of people, group, relationship, the vessel of us, of group, of relationship. Beautiful. Teapots. Absolutely. The vessel that holds this precious thing we call tea. Cauldron for sure. Yeah, this cauldron where we may alchemize hot liquids, medicines. Yeah, the vessel of the imagination. Yeah, absolutely. The vessel of the world. The vessel of the ecosystem, both inner and outer. Yummy. Yeah, that threshold between that kind of holds a vessel. Yummy. Mother Earth, absolutely. A vessel of Mother Earth. The uterus, yeah, the womb. What a vessel. What a vessel that makes so much possible that nothing would be possible without. Witchy vessels, mystery, absolutely. Mycelium is vessel for transformation. Wonderful. Heart as vessel. Yeah. So many vessels. Voice as vessel. Ozone layer as vessel. So let's just take another 2 or 3 if they're there. Brain as vessel. Any other last ones? I wonder if there are any from the other than human world of us, or the more than, or the mythic. Well, maybe more will come. Our story, yeah, story as vessel, absolutely. Oh, there we go. Two callings of stories as vessel and energy as vessel. Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you. I can kind of feel this vessel web of us kind of having become even kind of thicker, having kind of brought in all of these examples of how we're surrounded by vessels. We're surrounded by vessels. Maybe we'll pop the chat off now, Sandra, Deeper Death, to just going to do that. I mean, this is a good example of how we tend vessels. So it's like we create, you know, the chat here was a vessel for us to kind of really pour forth all of this feeding of our shared web vessel. And then now we've decided to tend this web vessel by saying, oh, we're going to actually disable the chat so that then we can have our attentions focused in this other realm of our web vessel. So yeah, good example of our tending of our vessels, and that how we hold our vessels is important to what kind of pours forth through us. So I'm just going to say a few words. We are going to move actually into something quite experiential and go on a bit of a journey together. But I'm going to just spend a bit of time talking about why vessel, what's that got to do with our soul journeys. And so for me, this kind of thing, this entity we call vessel is so essential in the soul journey, whether it's our own personal soul journey or whether it's a collective soul journey. It's like for the composting that is essential, you know, that our soul journeys really require us to kind of compost all of the many kind of skins, we might say the skins that modernity has kind of conditioned us into, these skins of modernity that we have become culturally conditioned into, that kind of mean that we take on a kind of shape that isn't really true to our essence, but is in service of us really kind of being woken up into that essence. So they're serving us these skins of modernity, and yet they're not really us. You know, they're more of a kind of in service of. And so Sophie Strand talks a lot about, you may have come across Sophie Strand. She talks a lot about how if we kind of throw food kind of into a pile, it will just rot, you know. Whereas if we create a container around that food, this dying food, a vessel no less, then we get compost, you know. And so this composting of our own skins of modernity, our own culturally conditioned patterns of being, our protective strategies, we might even call them, or our subpersonalities and the parts that make them up. If we don't create a vessel in which to do that composting, a vessel to support these conditioned ways of being, these skins, to die in a good way, then there's this chance that they may take on more of a rotting and a less helpful kind of way of kind of dying. And so it's so important in our soul journey to be really tending to like the quality of the vessel that we need to be able to be receiving, you know, receiving and being fed by the world, and then alchemizing within this vessel, you know, the gold that wants to be poured forth from us. And in modernity, most of us tend to have been quite conditioned to want to just continually pour forth. It's like this, there's this kind of impetus to want to be constantly pouring forth kind of our gifts and our ways of being in the world. And we're less kind of encouraged to kind of really kind of receive and contain and allow the alchemy and be patient and kind of actually recognize that this pouring forth of the golden threads of us, the gifts of us, really needs time to kind of be alchemized in these vessels that we create. So the reason for me kind of calling us all in around this theme of vessel is to really center how important it is in each of our soul journeying to be paying attention to the vessel that we create. And there are so many different kind of dimensions to vessel, you know, and that the most basic of which is this body of ours. But there are many different kind of energetic versions of vessel that we can be tending to. And then the other reason that vessel is so important is that as well as there being this kind of need to have this kind of fullness of vessel in the composting process, that composting process, this process of composting all of the ways that modernity has conditioned us, the intention of that composting is to empty out the vessel. you know, it's an invitation to become an empty vessel, to become a hollow bone, so that life in its purity and as the particularity of this one, of this soul purpose, this soul image, can move through us as that empty vessel. And we become that empty vessel for soul to move through us in the particular way we've been called into this lifetime to live as, and to offer our gifts and be in relationship with the world. So there's a fullness of vessel in the composting process that's in service to a kind of emptying out an empty vessel. And that's what this is all about. Like, how do we cultivate the particular vessel that each one of us needs right now to support us at the very particular stage in our soul journey that we happen to be in right now? And it's going to be different at different times. And so I am excited to invite us all into a journey, to kind of drop into a journey with vessel, a journey to see where we end up when we respond to the call of vessel. And before I do that, I'd just like to share a poem, and then I will invite you into an imaginal journey that will bring you into relationship with vessel. So in receiving this poem, you might like to close your eyes, and I'll then drop us into a journey. So find a way of kind of just getting comfortable, making sure that where you're sitting right now is comfortable for the next, maybe anywhere, might be anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. Who knows? So finding a comfortable position, a way of resting back. See if you can find a way of sitting that you've got some support. And just giving your attention now to your breath. Giving your attention to what the state of the vessel of you is in right now. How is the vessel of you right now? Some of you, I will hollow out. I will make you a cave. I will carve you so deep the stars will shine in your darkness. You will be a bowl. You will be the cup in the rock, collecting rain. I will do this because the world needs the hollowness of you. I will do this for the space that you will be. I will do this because you must be large, a passage. People will find their way through you, a bowl. People will eat from you, and their hunger will not weaken them to death. A cup to catch the sacred rain. Light will follow in your hollowing. You will be filled with light. Your bones will shine. The round, open center of you will be radiant. I will call you brilliant one. I will call you child of who is wide. I will call you transformed. I will call you transformed. And as you allow the potencies of those words, the invitation of those words to land in your body vessel, just giving thanks to Christian Law Weber, whose words they are, and just resting back, keeping your eyes closed or closing them if they're not already closed, and just resting back and just noticing the support behind you, the support at your back. And just as you notice that support at your back, just calling in another being. It may be human, it may be other than human, it may be more than human. But another being that for you really represents support. maybe a nurturing generative adult, maybe a wise ancestor, maybe it's the trunk of a huge welcoming tree. Maybe you're just nestling into the roots of that tree. Maybe it's a nest you've created, or the back of a large creature. Just inviting someone to be there for you to really rest back into. How is it to give your weight to this one? Nothing to do. We can give up the project. We can give up the holding. We just get to rest back into the love, the support that this one is enveloping us in. This support, this love that is always there for us, always. Even when it feels least visible, always there. Just noticing how it is in your body vessel to receive this support. Noticing if there's any resistance, welcoming any resistance, offering it love. And just seeing how is it if I just allow myself to rest back that little bit more, give a little more of my weight to this being who longs to hold me, this vessel that's there for me, for my vessel, that longs to hold me, to envelop me in love. And as you rest back there, just finding a way to start invoking your love for this body vessel of you. And you might like to invite your hands to help you in this. Your hands might like to start to stroke your body, to touch your body. You might like to bring your hands to your face and just stroke and touch this body of yours, inviting it into more presence. And if you notice that being invited to touch your body in this way kind of brings self-consciousness, and that having your camera on is a block for that, please do feel free to turn your camera off so you can really become as intimate with this body vessel of yours as you want to. Cameras are very welcome, but also this is about you dropping as deeply as you can. Allowing your hands to really offer love to this body vessel of yours. What does this body vessel of yours want? Just covering every inch of this body of yours with the most loving touch you can muster. Noticing where wants most attention, your belly, your legs, your heart, your sex. Just inviting you to bring love and attention and an awakening invitation to every inch of your body. Waking this one up. And this body vessel that's always there for you, always. in many different forms, but always there, always longing for more attention. And just noticing how your body's responding now that it is getting attention. How is it to give this beloved body vessel your full undivided attention, your full undivided love? Notice if there are parts of you that you feel resistance to touch or stroke. And just seeing how it feels to move towards them at least. Noticing what the resistance feels like in your body vessel. And then just bringing your attention to how it is that air, sky god as air, enters this vessel of you. How does the sky god of air enter your vessel? What does it feel like to inhale the sky? How is it to let your nostrils make love with this sky god? How is it when the sky god of air caresses your lungs, maybe makes it to your belly? Letting this vessel of you be penetrated by the sky. This perennial penetration by sky that's happening all the time, every moment. The breath of life moving through you as vessel. And then just opening your infinitesimal ears. Maybe that will include the ones at the side of your head, but opening all of the multiverse of ears of your being and noticing what sounds you may receive. How is it to open this vessel of you to sound? What does your vessel do with sound as it lands in your vessel? How is sound in your vessel? And then just noticing, bringing your attention to your heart space, this vessel of heart that so much moves through. Just noticing the quality in your heart space right now. Noticing if there are any emotions moving through. And if there are, seeing how it is to welcome them. This heart vessel of yours that holds so much. And then with this beautiful open heart of yours, or perhaps it's a closed heart, which is also incredibly welcome, whatever the quality of your heart, with your attention still there, you just notice that this being of you begins to move. And you find yourself in, perhaps it's a familiar landscape, perhaps it's an unfamiliar landscape, but you find yourself paying attention to what's the quality of the ground. Are you standing now on grass, or is it earth? Where do you find yourself as you begin this journey that you find yourself being tugged into, the vessel of you? Just noticing what's around you as you take your next step. Noticing if it's daytime or nighttime, what's around you. Are there plants? Are there trees? Are there any other creatures? Just allow your being to move forward as it feels. Maybe you find yourself wanting to get down on your hands and knees and crawl along. Maybe you want to walk. Maybe you want to slither. Just paying attention to this new environment the body vessel of you finds itself in right now. What's the air quality like? What's the temperature? Just allowing your vessel to move through this environment, this terrain, taking it in, allowing yourself to be surprised by the familiar or the unfamiliar. And as you make your way through this terrain, as your vessel moves through this terrain, you find yourself found by a vessel, another vessel. And this vessel, it's a threshold that's beckoning you. Maybe it's in the root of a tree. Maybe it's in a web. Just notice what the threshold is that finds you. Maybe it's a lake or a body of water, a root. And just let yourself get curious about this threshold, this entry point that's beckoning you. And when you're ready, just allow yourself to move towards that threshold. Allow that threshold to allure you in. And as you move through the threshold, only you know how you're moving through this threshold. Perhaps you're slithering, perhaps you're walking, just allowing yourself to be moved through this vessel, noticing how it is to move through this threshold, this vessel of a threshold. How does the environment around you change as you move through this terrain of the threshold, this new vessel that's holding you, that's transitioning you somewhere unknown? And as you allow yourself to move through, to be moved through, just notice that you find yourself penetrating down, down through the crust of the earth, moving through layer upon layer, multiverse upon multiverse. You're surrounded by the infinity of bacteria, the hubris, the many layers as you penetrate down through Earth. You pass through multitudes of planets, stars, lifetimes, moving through lifetimes. And as you allow yourself to surrender to this journey in deep time, you start to feel the quality of the environment around you, of the vessel around you changing. As you arrive in the womb vessel at the center of the universe. And you just find yourself snouting around. What is this place? This womb vessel at the center of the universe. And you notice there are an infinity of golden eyes glimmering in the darkness of this womb at the center of the universe. And as you allow yourself to receive this infinity of golden eyes, you notice in the corner of this vast vessel, this womb at the center of the universe, you notice the most vast granny spider. There she is in the corner of this womb at the center of the universe. She's there with this amber nectar pearl pulsing in her belly. And from her belly, from this amber nectar pearl, Granny Spider is weaving a web. Just allowing yourself to really take in this immense being you're now in the company of. Noticing how she moves, what the texture of her is, the color of her. Notice if you feel drawn towards her or you're keeping your distance. And as you take this one in, this vast Granny Spider, larger than any planet, any star, you notice that the web, the golden web that she's weaving, is full of threads, of golden threads that carry the most tender love for each and every one of your losses, for each and every grief that you carry, for each and every one of your longings. Granny Spider is weaving a golden thread, weaving a golden web for you, full of love-enthused threads, the particularity of your grief, your longing, your loss, the way that your heart breaks. Here she is weaving this golden web for you. And just notice the form that that web is taking as she weaves yet another golden thread of your grief, of your heartbreak, of your longing, of your belonging. And as you watch on as she weaves this immense golden web for you, just notice how it is to start to relate with that web. How is it to move towards it and allow yourself to give yourself to that web? Maybe you lean into it Maybe you lie down on it. Just notice how the web wants to have its way with you, this web vessel of support, of love, this ancestral web of grief, love, and longing for you, woven for you. And just noticing how your body wants to be with that web. How is it in your being, in this vessel being of you, to receive this golden web of support? What does your body want to do? Does it want to snuggle in? Does it want to bounce off? How does your body want to be with this gigantic golden web of support for you? Just noticing what your body wants to do, how it wants to receive this support. And as you pay attention to how your body has been fed by this web, you notice Granny Spider is starting to beckon your attention. And you find yourself moving back over towards her. This new being vessel of you, now fed by this golden web she's woven for you. And as you approach her, and maybe you are close to her, maybe you're far from her, only you know, but as you approach her, you find yourself asking her, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything you want from me? And you allow this being vessel of you to just receive whatever she has to reply, whatever words come from her. Does she want anything from you? And if you hear nothing, just notice how that is in you. And as you've received or not received this wanting from Granny Spider, you then find yourself asking again, Granny Spider, is there anything you have to tell me about the particular vessel I need right now? Is there anything particular you have to tell me about the particular vessel I need to cultivate or be found by right now? And as you utter those words, you find yourself just opening your being vessel to receive any wisdom Granny Spider might have to share with you. And since this vessel journey is beginning to move its way back, you notice yourself wanting to find some words of appreciation to Granny Spider for this web she's woven and all of the webs she's weaving constantly between the worlds. How do you thank Granny Spider? How do you find your particular way of thanking her for this hanging out in the womb at the center of the universe? And once you've found your way of thanking Granny Spider and expressing anything else that wants to be expressed to her, you start to find yourself being tugged back. There's a tugging. And you find your being vessel starting to make its way back, leaving this womb at the center of the universe, leaving Granny Spider for now. As you start to travel back up, up, up through the layers, through the lifetimes, passing through the multitude of planets and stars, the multiverses of bacteria, up you go, moving through, feeling the tug, this other world calling you back. You feel this tug. And before you know it, you start to feel the Earth's crust and you find your way, pushing your way up through the Earth's crust, through this threshold vessel that you passed at the start of your journey. As you find yourself emerging back into the terrain that you perhaps walked or slithered or crawled through when you were found by this threshold. And you start to move back through that terrain, knowing that somewhere close by there's a Zoom room that's calling you back. A Zoom room full of soulkin, longing for your company, longing for your gifts. A Zoom room where you matter, where the vessel of you matters. And as you are remembered by this Zoom room, you find yourself slowly, slowly opening your eyes, just allowing the light back in. You find your way back to this curious screen if you left it. Maybe you notice that suddenly your finger is navigating towards the button that's going to let us see this vessel of you, this changed being that's returning from the womb at the center of the universe. And here we are, back here in this Zoom room. I'm going to give a few moments now for us all just to settle back, and I invite you to just look at these changed creatures here on the screen. And if you don't have your video on and you feel so willing, we would love to see who you are now you've returned from the womb at the center of the universe with all of this web weaving, this generous web weaving. Oh, look at what's happened. It's almost as if a golden web has been woven between us all, in my eyes at least. Hmm. 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 So just taking a moment to take all of these ones in, whichever of these creatures might be the ones on your screen you can see. These ones who have also, like you, just journeyed to the womb at the center of the universe. And perhaps were also lucky enough to meet Granny Spider. These fellow creatures who also perhaps were blessed enough to have a golden web spun just for them, just for you, just for us, by Granny Spider. A golden web to hold us in all of our grief, all of our love, all of our longing, all of our belonging. So, as we move between many vessels, just in these last few minutes together, I just want to invite you all to feed the web vessel of us with the the jewels and the gems, and anything else that you may have been fed by in this time. And so we've opened up the chat again, I think. Have we opened up the chat again? We are opening the chat again. And yeah, just invite you to, so just me, I can't see the chat. Or is that just me? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, just wanting to invite you all, just anyone who feels to share, in the spirit of really kind of weaving the many golden threads of this web vessel of us, with, whatever feels like it would feed. So, it might be something you've been touched by or something you were surprised by. It might be what Granny Spider asked of you, or it might be what she offered you in terms of wisdom for your vessel. It might be you want to let us know the vessel you're being dreamed by. So anything you feel will feed our vessel is very welcome here in the chat. We've got the wounded drum strapped to my back. What an image. Golden threads hugging me in. Human hug vessel. Do not stop and be patient. Nice. Opening my eyes and seeing a beautiful large spider web with spider right in the middle, just 2 feet to my right. I'd not noticed before. Beautiful. How can we create vessels and be carried by them, eternally weaving the roles of the innocent and the sage together? Way, what a wonderful, wonderful inquiry. Wonderful. I hope you will follow that inquiry. Create space, allow time. Golden spider web welcoming my vibrations and breathing along. Yum. What a rich web we're all thrumming in and as. I am held by the golden glittering net of the universe Granny Spider's net, as well as from beings around me. Surprised the journey back through the threshold and found a spider in the image of my childhood wise woman neighbor. Wonderful, wonderful. We as community that gathered here are a vessel. Yes, we are. We are. We go even slower, shine even brighter. Wonderful. Wise words. Meet you on the other side of fear. Less attention to demand and more to surrender, and to surrender your vessel will serve you beyond your imagination. Beautiful. Beautiful. And words are welcome in the chat too, if you're noticing anything just by being fed by all of these golden threads that each of us is now weaving in. It's like we're just weaving these nested webs. So if you find yourself feeling touched or inspired or anything moved, then those words are welcome now too, around the vessel of us. A sense of stillness being in front of the granny spider. Yeah. Do not be afraid. I am not. I have a feeling you are. I am. Powerful. Golden thread will glue your broken pieces. It sure will. Okay, so just last few moments for any last threads that want to be woven into this web vessel of us, this ancestral web vessel that we've been weaving so exquisitely together. The spider asked me to eat it and let the grief of others move through me. Oh, yes, yes. I hope you might splash around with that invitation. Okay, So I think we find ourselves needing to bring this particular web vessel to a close, knowing it will always stay with us. It's been an absolute pleasure beyond my imagination to be with you, and thank you all for sharing so generously, and thank you for being willing to kind of splash around in this territory together of soul infusion, and for infusing such a delicious, generative, expansive, consciousness shifting web vessel between us. I feel very rocked by by what's been possible just in this kind of crazy little vessel we're in just this small time window. I am part of a collective or an organization that's called Starter Culture, which is all about cultivating vessels for this composting process. And myself and Sarah McFarland, Hologram Heart, who you'll meet in the next session if you stay on, because she's hosting the next session. We are, we're the kind of center of that vessel of Starter Culture. And we offer all sorts of programs through that vessel. So if you're interested in more, and lots of them are online, some in person, lots online, then do go and visit our website and you'll find out more about the vessels that we're cultivating there to support others in their own vessel cultivation. Yeah, thank you again. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Us, on behalf of the circle, I am thanking you, Wild Ally, and yeah, for your generosity that you're holding in your own vessel, the beauty that you are for the world and with the world. Yeah, gratitude. Thank you.